Spurs. They've got a new goalkeeper. Eric Thorstvedt returns to go. Ian Walker running a temperature tonight of 102 degrees. 2, Goodney Bergsson. 3, Steve Sedgley. 4, Nayim. 5, David Tuttle, his first European game. 6, Gary Mabbutt. 7, Paul Stewart. 8, Gordon Durie. 9, Vinnie Samways. 10, the new dad. 11, Paul Allen. Spurs' usual formation. Tuttle alongside Mabbutt at the centre of the defence. Bergsson at right back. Sedgley at left back. The Lineker-Durie partnership looking for the goals that are so important tonight. They've scored 15 of Spurs' 18 so far this season. Now Hajduk splits with Bosko Boskovic in goal, 2 Predrag Erak, 3 Robert Jani, 4 the captain Igor Stimac, 5 Yuri Jezlinek, a Czech centre-back, 6 Slaven Bilic, 7 Mario Novakovic, who scored the only goal in the first leg, 8 Ante Miche, 9 Goran Milanko, 10 Goran Vucevic, and 11 Ardian Kozniku. A young side that looks very strong in midfield, Novakovic, Misha and Vucevic. But judging by the first leg, their star player is the left back, Jani, gets forward so quickly, is a brilliant crosser of the ball as well. The substitutes tonight, any 2 from these 5. And our referee tonight is Erik Fredriksson, a vastly experienced referee from Sweden. 3 World Cups behind him, supported of course tonight by 2 linesmen, also from Sweden. Well, it'll be a tough night for Tottenham. It could be a very uncomfortable one as well, as Hajduk split get us away with the first shot for Eric Thorstvedt to consider. 1 down Spurs, of course, from the first leg, against really what is a good technical side. And in its way, it means Spurs are sitting on a thorny dilemma. They've got to score to wipe out the deficit. But if they concede a goal with this away goals rule in Europe, remember, then Spurs would have to score 3. So in other words, they've got to attack with venom, and they've got to defend with even greater discipline. There's Paul Allen trying to get the ball in, but it's Bilic with the bandaged knee getting it away. Mabbutt watching it over his shoulder, and back to Eric Thorstvedt, who only learned he was playing about an hour before the start, Thorstvedt. Peter Shreves went up to him in the corridor. You're playing, no problem, says the cool Norwegian. Thorstvedt, in fact, who's missed 9 games since he was left out in preference for young Ian Walker. This is Bergsson, up to Durie, challenged by Jezlinek. Spurs really do have to press in this opening 15 minutes. Keep their eyes open at the back, of course, but really assert themselves in these opening minutes. Lineker diving in on that one, and Erak getting the ball to his goalkeeper, Boskovic. But I think because of the turmoil in Yugoslavia, this match really also, as Elton was saying, has a real poignant significance. Tuttle with a header, a little bit off-balanced. I don't think the Saint and I are here really to make political judgments, but I think purely in humanitarian terms, your heart really has to go out to these unfortunate split players with war raging in their homelands and their families there back in Croatia. And they were telling me last night they don't even know how or when they're going to get back home with them. The free kick, Novakovic, his shot taken out by Tuttle. A deliberate handball there. Now that's a deliberate handball, and how will Fredriksson react to that? There's a directive which says it's a deliberate handball. He has to go off. He's calling for a yellow card. Well, that looked a deliberate handball to me, Ian St John.
Well, of course it was a deliberate handball, Brian. The only way I think the referee is letting him off lightly was because it was a ball up the touchline, but you can't get any more deliberate than that. Had it been in the middle of the field, I'm sure he would have been sent off.
Well, it's a free kick for Tottenham, which Samways will take. Vucevic laying it out. So a yellow card then for Bilic. As I was saying, your heart goes out really to these poor unfortunate split players. Durie. Bilic again with the clearance. I'm told they haven't been paid for the last 5 months. And of course, none of them can be sure of their immediate future. And they all must be very worried about their families back home. Durie. Sedgley. Sweeping it left towards Steve Sedgley.
I think one of the things we'll have to look out for, Brian, is possibly in the second half, is the match fitness of the players, because they've only played one other game this season, which seems incredible.
Well, that was against Tottenham. They, of course, are not in the Yugoslav League. They've, because of the problems in Yugoslavia, they're not playing in that league, and they've only played friendlies. That's their captain, Stimac, and just the one game in the first leg, which was played in Linz, which they won 1-0 against Tottenham. Nayim's shot charged away. This is Erak, the fullback. And the challenge by Sedgley. Kosniku with the ball on the touchline there. Another throw for Hajduk Split, taken again by Erak. Kosniku. The boot a little high on Nayim. This is Tuttle. Bergsson. The ball given away badly there to Misha. Tough little midfielder with a lot of running to him. Kosniku on the far side. Misha. Erak. Bergsson. Tuttle again. Durie just onside. Can Lineker get up in time? No. And it's a keeper's ball. Milenko. Wearing a number 9 shirt tonight. He played as an out-and-out defender in the first leg, marking Lineker, in fact. There's Tuttle doing well. That's a good ball by David Tuttle. Now, Allen. That surely is a foul by the Czech. Here's Lineker. He's playing his last game tonight for Hajduk Split. Lineker. He's got a wife and 3 children back in Split. And he says he's going back in his car to Prague, where he lives, to get them away from the war. And a goal by Tuttle. A terrific start from Tottenham. And David Tuttle, in his first European game, with only 6 minutes gone. From the other side of White Hart Lane, as Vinnie Samways floats it in, it comes out invitingly there to David Tuttle, the 19-year-old, beyond Boskovic, and exactly the start that Tottenham wanted. Scores level now on aggregates.
Well, that was just actually the start that Tottenham needed, Brian. That's lovely to get on terms so early in the game. And you have to say it was very poor defending by the Split team there. It was a very, very poor header out, and David Tuttle there punished him for it.
And of course, the imponderable, we don't really know. We know that they are technically a good side, Hajduk Split, but you were saying they are desperately short of match practice. And they are basically a very young side. You just don't quite know how they're going to weather this sort of storm away from home.
Well, they might cave in entirely, and they may just not have the stomach for it, but we'll find that out.
Tuttle. Only played 4 games last season for Tottenham, and his first one this season came against Manchester United here on Saturday.
I saw that game, actually. He played very well, I have to say. As did Tottenham. I thought Tottenham played well on Saturday.
He was looking after Mark Hughes for most of the afternoon, which is not an easy task, but he did well. But here are Hajduk Split now. This is Erak. Fullback, no foul there by Nayim. Gets it back safely to Thorstvedt. Number 10, Vukovic. Mabbutt holding him up. Sedgley getting it forward to Lineker. Played again towards Durie, taking that position wide on the left. Lineker's coming to the middle for him, and Boskovic up just before Lineker. Lineker just behind the goalkeeper there, waiting for the nearest slip, but a lovely run again by Durie.
It would appear to me, Brian, that that's the ploy for Tottenham tonight. They've caught him about 3 times with the long ball.
Here's the man to watch, Yanni. Beautiful play by him, and almost causing problems. Now, this is Yanni, who caused all sorts of trouble for Tottenham down that left flank in the first leg in Linz. Due to go to an Italian club, or we understand, in fact, the private plane is arriving here tonight to take him to an Italian club. The Yugoslavs are not saying which one, but he's clearly an outstanding talent. Corner to be taken by Vukovic. Stimac in the goal area, Bilic as well. It comes to Vinny Samways. Back to Thorstvedt. Sedgley. Samways. Throw quick and taken by Samways. Lineker knocking it in. Vukovic. Comes Thorstvedt again. They spent a lot of time last night, Saints, working on that sort of move. They are a good counter-attacking side, so Spurs really must be very, very wary, and they seem to counter-attack, not down the flanks, but absolutely bang straight through those central areas.
Well, they've got all of the players in midfield. They're only keeping the one player up front, the number 11, because Nicky, he's staying up front, and the midfield players go up to support him. So it's very important, I think, that Spurs don't lose the ball in midfield, because that's where the counter will come from.
Novakovic. Tuttle. Up to Samways. Scrutiny Bergsson. Tuttle. Novakovic. Again. Nayim this time for Tottenham. Lineker chasing. But, number 4, Stimac, getting there before him. Durie. Misha. There's the flying machine again. Yanni. But this time Allen, and that's really got to be his job, Paul Allen. Sticking into that right midfield area, holding up Yanni whenever he can. There's Paul Stewart. Nayim went down the left for him. Lineker's waiting inside here. Paul Allen. Bergsson. Allen. Bergsson chasing this one. Here's the neck there, allowing it to go over for the goal kick. So 13 minutes gone. Spurs with that vital first goal against Hajduk split. Tuttle the scorer after 6 minutes, bringing the scores level on aggregate at 1-1. Vukovic. Yanni. Novakovic. Misha. Holding off Samways. Didn't quite come to Stewart. Mabbutt, who scored from long range. That sort of range, actually, which deceived Ian Walker in the first leg. Thorstvedt not behind it. In fact, to be fair to Walker, it was a tougher shot than that, and it was much more into the corner of the goal. Here's Paul Stewart. Lineker. Long again towards Durie. Tottenham's throw. Tottenham playing in their away strip, you'll notice, of all yellow. It's a UEFA ruling that if there is a colour clash, it's the home side that has to change. Well, Lineker with a shot on goal. And another one, this time by Durie. The perfect start. The smiling face of the Scottish striker, Gordon Durie. Lineker looked as though he had a half a chance there. It ricochets off the defender and returned with great interest there by Gordon Durie. 2-0 for Tottenham.
It was a wonderful strike, wasn't it? Again, I thought very poor defending, but look, that was a sweet shot, wasn't it? Just caught it on the ball there, beauty.
So Spurs now go into the lead on aggregates. But the battle isn't over yet. Let's be quite clear about that, because with this away goals, Hajduk still have to score only one to qualify for the next round. So the job isn't over yet. Well, there's only one Gordon Durie, is what the White Hart Lane fans are singing now. He had a good last season with Chelsea. I think 15 he scored for them. That was his 5th for Tottenham. He also scored in the preliminary round of this competition against Stockerau. Whereas Gary Lineker became a father today, Gordon Durie, I think, is due to become a father, he was telling me, in just a few weeks' time. Yanni. Durie again, put away this time by Samways, and the corner for Tottenham. They're a young Yugoslav side. If you take out Jezdenek, who's 29 and by far the oldest, the average age of this split side is not much more than 22. Corner for Tottenham. Stewart going for this one, but Boskovic taking it well. Kosniku. The score would be enough to put Spurs into the next round, into the next draw, which is in Switzerland on Friday. Just past the quarter of an hour mark. 2-0 to Tottenham, 2-1 on aggregate they lead. Bergsson, Lineker. Sedgley. Samways, Lineker. So might have come off the hand of Bilic there. Paul Allen now for Tottenham. Struck by Mabbutt. Tottenham's throw. Samways with the cross, Boskovic with the catch. Judicious little throw out there to Vukovic. Stewart's after him. And a free kick to Hajduk split. Match. Yes, Lineker. Just getting ahead of Durie. Misha. Vucevic. Yanni has gone much further forward now. Vucevic. Vucevic. Misha. Back to Vucevic. Oh, and he very nearly threaded that ball through for Yanni. Samways brought down. But that little movement of theirs just a moment ago, Ian, they look a good technical side, don't they?
Yes, they do, Brian, without, at the moment, appearing to have much punch up front. And I would think that, although Tottenham are still playing it a little bit cagey, they're keeping their back four flat there. They're not pushing anybody forward from the back. And although they've only got one forward up split, I think Tottenham at this stage are doing the right thing. They're just playing it nice and cagey, two up. But if they get another one, I think we might get a deluge of goals.
This is Milanko getting past Paul Stewart. Yanni playing as an out-and-out striker now. Milanko shot. Thorstvedt, no problems for him. It's with Paul Allen for Tottenham, leading by 2-0, 2-1 on aggregate. An obstruction there by number 7, Novakovic.
Well, Spurs have had a bit of joy out of the last couple of crosses they've put in, Brian. Let's see if something can happen this time.
They put Mabbutt in there as well. Durie too. That came off Stewart's head.
The goalkeeper has looked very competent when the ball's gone close to him. He's come out and handled fine, but the defenders haven't looked comfortable, have they? Haven't had him coming and getting a clean header at it.
Tuttle's header. Bergsson. To Lineker. Allen. Lineker again. Allen. Paul Allen. A little bit tight in there, but now he slings the cross in. Lineker was diving for it. But Lineker gets it away. Durie coming back to help out. Tuttle now, leaving it for Stewart. Little dummy that he sold there on the number 11, Kozniku. Mabbutt. Stewart. Stewart again. Bergsson. Stewart trying to get on the end of that one, and Durie too, but the whistle had gone for the free kick for the foul by Gordon Durie on the Hajduk split captain, Igor Stimac. Spurs looking for a handsome performance to put in front of their fans tonight. Their form this season really hasn't been that impressive at home here. They've had 2 league defeats, one by Chelsea and one last Saturday by Manchester United, and as Ian said, they still played pretty well. Looking for a really good home victory here tonight. Well, the makings are there. 2 goals up already, halfway through the first half. Mini Samways. Here's Paul Allen. Samways. Getting a good balance and understanding, these midfield players, Allen and Samways in particular. Here's Samways again.
But we're not getting an end product there, Brian. That's 2 or 3 attacks down the right-hand side. They've had the ball, and we're waiting for it to go in the box, and it doesn't appear. And I think they're just over-elaborating a little bit.
Yes, the neck for Hajduk split. Stewart. Vucevic. Over to Misha. Faster with the outside of his boot. There's Yanni again. Yanni. Having said at the outset what a good crosser of the ball he is.
That plane might not arrive.
The plane for Italy is supposed to be arriving tonight. Milan have been very, very keen on him. There's also a rumour that it might be Juventus. But he's certainly due to go to Italy. His parents are already there, apparently. Lineker. Misha. Here's the neck. Look at the space here, Kozniku. And here's Yanni. No, he couldn't quite pick it up. The flag has called him back in any case for offside. But Spurs, for the first time in this game, getting into a little bit of a dither in defence.
They were certainly caught there. The Tuttle went into the tackle, lost it, and had Yanni just stayed on side there, it was trouble for Tottenham.
Bergsson on Yanni. It's by no means a full house here at White Hart Lane tonight. Not quite a distant echo and a noisy echo of those wonderful Spurs nights of the 1960s, the Gornik nights and the Slovan Bratislavas, or even more recently against Anderlecht when they won the UEFA Cup in 1984. Strange that, because it wasn't a great crowd at Arsenal for their first game back in Europe, and what, 17,000 at Liverpool for theirs. It just hasn't quite yet caught on this season, which surprises me, the first season back, so to be honest.
Well, I don't think the names of the teams that were in opposition would really attract a lot of people.
Free kick to Hajduk.
I think if Juventus were playing here, you'd get a crowd.
Well, true. Vucevic. Milanko. Long-range shot again, maybe? No. Misha, will he try a long-range shot? Won't be allowed to. Nayim got in quickly, not once, but twice. They claimed a free kick there as Milanko went down, and then I think Misha got involved a little bit with Nayim, and Durie is getting involved now with Misha just for a moment. And the ball has been knocked out of play by Spurs, so that Milanko, I think it is, yes, number 9, can get a bit of treatment.
I think it was Nayim who was the man involved there in the tackle. We'll have a look and see.
This is Misha coming in here. Goes in with the challenge there, Nayim, and he gets up again to have another go. This time, I think, at Milanko's coming into the ball here.
See, that's a two-footed tackle, and Nayim did that on Saturday as well in the game. He goes flying into the ball with 2 feet, and it is a foul. The referee didn't give a foul to me, but I think that is a foul. And it's a very dangerous tackle if you happen to be the other player.
And Hajduk sportingly throwing the ball back to Tottenham, who'd thrown it, knocked it out in the first place, so that Milanko could get his treatment. Bilic away. I gather a good set of lads, these split fellows. Some of them actually took time out today to go and visit Paul Gascoigne in hospital, which was a very nice touch. And if Paul's listening, we hope that you're progressing very well, Gazza. And we'll soon be back in action again. Tuttle. Hit long, Spurs caught offside. Misha. Hajduk looking a little more promising, a little more together now. Getting men forward as well. Vukovic. Now Novakovic. Scored in the first leg, and that was on target until it hit Bergsson and went behind for the corner.
There is a bit more conviction about the Hajduk team now, isn't there?
Without any doubt at all. Spurs leading 2-0 tonight, 2-1 on aggregate if you've just joined us. And here comes the Hajduk split corner. Oh, my goodness, that was almost against the crossbar. In fact, I'm not at all sure that it wasn't by a Spurs player.
I think it was Bergsson.
Well, that's how close that was. We ought to look at that again. It certainly thundered against the Tottenham crossbar, and my view was that it was a Spurs player who did it.
Oh, you were right. It was a Spurs player, all right, Brian, but which one it was, I'm not too clear.
It's a free kick on the far side, Saint, for Hajduk split. We'll look at that again in a moment. Let's just see what happens here first. Bergsson getting the right sort of header in there, getting it away to Gordon Durie, and the ball hit long to Gary Lineker. No, cut out by Lineker. Lineker chasing back. Out of play. So let's just have a look at that scary moment for Tottenham from the other side of the pitch again.
Yes,
in fact, it was Steve Sedgley.
Sedgley it was. I'll tell you, he's a lucky boy getting away with that one.
There's Nayim. Misha. Erak, the fullback. Stopped by Nayim, a nice little touch there, but Samways couldn't collect. Vukovic, and it does look a much more threatening Hajduk split side at the moment. With about 14 minutes of the first half left, 2-0 tonight. Tuttle and Durie the scorers in the first 14 minutes of the game. Spurs leading 2-1 on aggregates. Hajduk split having won the first leg by a 1-0 in Linz. Tuttle. Allen. Lineker's, well, Stewart did well to pick up that pass by Lineker, which always looked as though it was going to fall short. Hajduk have got it back again, and look as though they might cause one or two problems here. Stewart up, Durie playing it wide, Paul Allen now for Tottenham, Samways going outside him, Allen hitting it too far for Durie, and a goal kick for Hajduk split.
Well, it's certainly given a bit of urgency to the game now, Brian, because the fans can sense it as well that the visitors here have come back into the game, and they certainly got caught cold in the first 15 minutes, didn't they? Losing two what I thought were very poor defensive goals. But they've come back. They look as if they've got a bit of confidence about them. There's Sedgley,
lucky lad,
who almost got on the score sheet tonight at the wrong end.
Tuttle. We might have given that away. He does to Kosniku. Vukovic and Thorstvedt. Quickly out. Slightly anxious moments this for Tottenham. Let me just repeat that if Hajduk were to score, the away goals would put them ahead of Tottenham. 2-2 on aggregate, but with the away goal, they'll be in the lead. Durie over the top. Well, that combination between Lineker and Durie.
That partnership that has looked very fruitful this year, almost paying off there. Lovely little flick on there by Gary Lineker. And Gordon Durie onto it like a flash.
Well, they've scored 16 of the 20 goals that Tottenham have scored this season. Misha. Melanco. Novakovic. Beginning to spray the ball around with a lot of confidence now. Vukovic. Free kick to Hajduk split. The foul by Sedgley. Quickly taken, but doesn't catch out Thorstvedt, and his long throw finds Gary Lineker. Lineker being chased by Yanni. Allen. Samways towards Durie, beaten in the air by Stewart. Stewart, Sedgley, Paul Stewart, chances for Tottenham here maybe. Stewart still getting into the box. Yes, Lineker getting it away. There's an infringement, a handball I think possibly.
What a good bit of work there by Paul Stewart. Really grafted to get himself into a goal-scoring position.
Ten minutes of the first half left. Misha now for Hajduk split. Spurs leading 2-0, 2-1 on aggregate. Gurjevic. Stopped by Stewart. Game by Durie. The referee Eric Fredriksson suggesting there's a little push there by Durie. Novakovic. Yanni. Releasing Samways, Lineker waiting in the middle. You've said again, Ian, that they're making promising moves down that right-hand side, but there's no end product at the moment. And that really was a case of over-elaborating, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Stewart, the captain. For Hajduk split. Kosniku.
I don't think that's the type of ball that will trouble his big goalkeeper somehow.
Well, big Eric stands 6'3", Eric the Viking. There's Paul Allen. Durie. Samways. Always swerving just that little bit wide. The European Cup score coming in from Ibrox. Rangers leading Sparta Prague by a 1-0. Stuart McCall, formerly of Everton, the scorer of that one. That brings the aggregate level of that tie to 1-1. Lineker. Oh, gave that away, Vukovic, but there was a foul on Gary Lineker. He really injured himself in about the first minute of the game of the first leg. Stubbed his toe again, that toe that's been giving him some problems. But John Sheridan, the physio here, believes an awful lot in acupuncture. And the acupuncture was put to work on Lineker's toe. And he's in great shape at the moment, even though he's without a lot of sleep, because apparently his wife started to have troubles at about 2:30 in the morning. 2:30 in the morning, and finally delivered young George to Gary at 2:30 this afternoon. So he didn't get much sleep last night. This is Milenko. Misha. Tuttle's header, firmly away. Sedgley could have caught out there, but snapped it away into touch. Bosniku. Yanni waiting in the middle. Vukovic though. Bosniku. Good break here again, right across the face of the goal there. Yanni couldn't bank it on the end of it, but the fullback Erak doing some good work there again for Hajduk split. You get some with a throw. Sorry, Steve.
I'm just thinking that you get the feeling that when they get the ball in and around the Tottenham box, I mean, they are beginning to look very dangerous, aren't they? I think it'd be a better ploy for Tottenham to start doing more attacking, Brian.
Well, this is what Ireland's trying to do now. Back to Lineker. There's an offside flag. Both Durie and Lineker, I suspect, offside. Five minutes to the interval. And this is Misha for Hajduk split. Trying to get Yanni away. Claims a handball against David Tuttle. The referee from Sweden agrees. I don't think this is over by a long way tonight, the way Hajduk split have started to come back in this last quarter of an hour, 20 minutes here.
Well, as I say, I feel that Tottenham have a bit of a dilemma, because while they're 2-0 up, they're pretty happy with that, but at the same time, if they do lose one here, then it is problems.
Yanni with the free kick, no. Vukovic, a little dummy run, then he takes it again, and he might get another one in now. Just wide of the goal. Took that little reverse ball from Misha. A free kick which for a little while looked as though it was going nowhere, suddenly looked as though it might produce the goods for Hajduk split. Takes the return ball there from Misha, and about a couple of feet wide.
Well, they caught Tottenham at 6s and 7s here, because it looked at one stage as if the Tottenham boys were playing them offside, and then there was a yellow jersey in there playing them on.
Samways header. And here's Vukovic again. Sedgley. Ooh, Bergsson getting it away under pressure that time from Yanni. Stewart. Spurs need another goal. Lineker chasing along with Stimac. And the throw given to Hajduk split. Coming to the last 3 minutes of the first half.
You see, number 3, Yanni, has pushed up Brian right up front there to supplement the attack a little bit, and they possibly have more designs on attacking now.
Misha. Bergsson. Stewart. Rudely Bergsson again. It's won by Bilic. Getting cut up on this side of the ground. Vukovic. Erak's made a terrific break down the right for him. And Yanni is still the man they have to watch through those central areas now. Milenko. Mabbutt's ball, but not cleared with any great conviction. Stewart just nicks it to Nayim, gets it back again. And they're just happy to get it back to Thorstvedt with 2 minutes of the first half left.
See, Tottenham don't have any width at all down this side, do they? Paul Allen is pushed right in to try and back up the midfield there, and there's no width at all, because Tottenham have got 4 players back marking 2. But really, they should push one of the fullbacks wide, and they may start then supporting the players up front with an extra man wide.
Stimac. Trying to find Yanni with this ball so often is Thorstvedt. Nayim's header. Stewart. Sedgley knocked in there to Durie. Samways scampering on that far side now. Finds Nayim. Little touch by him, which is a good one. Now what can Sedgley do? And Lineker clearing it very far. Little shimmy there by Samways. But outnumbered 2-1. Bergsson was brought down by Stewart, and a free kick for the foul by Paul Stewart. Vukovic, the 20-year-old number 10, just needing a bit of treatment. Lineker was telling me after the first leg that he's rarely played against a side so highly motivated as this Hajduk split team were. Although they had no match practice, they really felt they were playing for the people back home who were having such a rough time of it, to give them a bit of a lift. And maybe that sort of message is filtering through their side at the moment, because over the last 25 minutes they've begun to look very much more promising in.
Well, had they not lost that couple of goals, Brian, and you know, you'd look at the game now and think, well, anything can happen. But I still think Tottenham, with the 2-goal cushion that they've got from this particular game, I think they'll see them through all right.
Well, that surely was it.
He's done it again.
Another deliberate handball. That time it's Novakovic, and this time it's a red card. He goes off. A deliberate handball to stop a Spurs player getting it. Mario Novakovic, who had a moment of glory in the first leg when he scored the only goal, is now sent off for a deliberate handball, and Hajduk split are down to 10 men.
Actually, I don't really see much difference between that one and the first one, Brian.
Exactly what I was going to say. I mean, Bilic did almost the self-same thing in the opening couple of minutes. There's the deliberate handball, Paul Allen appealing, and the referee brandishing the red card, and the half-time whistle has gone as Novakovic is sent off, and Spurs leading in this Cup Winners' Cup game, the second leg, by 2-0, leading by 2-1 on aggregate. That's the story at White Hart Lane. And it looks as though, yes, Spurs are with the side that's left the first half. I don't think there are any substitutions either on the Hajduk split side at the moment. Spurs then get the second half underway here at White Hart Lane, with a place in the next round now at stake in the next 45 minutes. Here's Bergsson. Haven't been many runs by him along that right flank in this half so far. An advantage played there by the referee. Now, Vukovic. Could be problems here, but Thorstvedt there to save Kozniko's shot. And Hajduk split with another player down injured, as if they haven't got troubles enough. How do you think they might play this now in the second half, Ian?
Well, actually, I don't think it'll be much different from the first, Brian, other than the fact they'll only have one player up. But they finished the first half with some attacking ideas, and they had 2 players up front. I think all they'll do now is just keep the one up. The number 11 will play there, and they'll just have the same formation as they had before. And they will hang on, and hopefully that maybe, you know, they'll get something at the end. That was a player falling over there, it really was.
I think he probably hit his knee on the ball, Bilic, as he fell, but it looked a bit of a dive there as he was chasing with Gordon Durie.
Nothing really. So I think Tottenham will have to think more about, as I said before, about pushing another defender forward, push him into midfield, and put a bit more pressure on them.
Durie beaten in the air by Lineker. Here's Allen. Lineker up ahead of him, but caught offside. Crowd of about 24,000 here at White Hart Lane tonight. some of the old European nights of the 60s and 70s where you get 55,000, 60,000, it seems to me. Maybe they'll come again as Spurs advance, hopefully, in this competition. But Hajduk split with a free kick at the moment. Misha with it. Vukovic. Fosniku. Misha. Super number 8. Misha. Stewart getting it back quite calmly to Erik Thorstvedt. Having a good game, Paul Stewart.
Yes, he is, Brian. I was just thinking that myself. He did a lot of good work in the first half. I think he's been the most influential of the Tottenham players tonight.
Durie. Now Lineker. Can Lineker finish this off? No. Yes, Lineker just edged him out. But again, a good bit of combination play there between Durie and Lineker. It was Durie's header that opened it up momentarily there for Gary Lineker. Free kick to Hajduk, already taken. Vukovic, foul on him, this time by Bergsson, a free kick. Misha. Lineker to Misha. Sedgley. Finding Durie. Seeking out Lineker. Paul Allen. Bergsson. I think we've not seen these Bergsson runs quite so often tonight because they are a little worried about this number 3 Yanni, who's on the ball at the moment. Yanni, long ball towards Fosniku. Vukovic. Misha just nicking it there, tried to get it to Erak, the fullback. Spurs again with Samways to Tuttle. Remember, Hajduk split down to 10 men. With Mabbutt sent off in the last minute of the first half for deliberate handball. Paul Allen to Gordon Durie. Just nicked off the Hajduk split player, but in fact it's not a throw, it's a free kick to Tottenham. Just over 5 minutes of the second half gone. Samways with the free kick. Mabbutt's up there, Stewart's in there, Lineker's in there. The goalkeeper fisting it clear, Misha helping it on its way. Sedgley looking to return it. The offside flag is up. There were at least 3 Tottenham players offside. Now the real danger man, Yanni. Slip by Vukovic. Offside against Durie.
Tottenham was certainly getting caught offside, Brian, not only in the box there when the Hajduk players are running out very quickly in defensive areas, but just over the halfway line as well. And I think if they keep aware and keep alive here, I think they can catch the Hajduk split players because they are trying to play an offside game, and that's always dangerous.
Ziku. Misha. Milanko. Touch by him. Vukovic. Tussling with Samways. Ball there for Gary Lineker. Durie. Paul Allen. Tunley his way clear of Yanni, gets the cross in, but it's just a little too far forward. Goal kick.
It's very interesting there, isn't it, that Tottenham had the ball and they broke away and they had the attack, and there was only 3 Tottenham players up. Everybody else just stood there. I watched them there.
Yes, you were pointing to me that Samways and Stewart and the back 4 had all stayed back.
They all stayed in the centre circle, so it's obviously instructions from the dressing room at half-time that they don't push forward too much, they just stay there.
Here's Tuttle. Durie. find a bit of space for himself, and inevitably Lineker's waiting in the middle. But Stewart, the captain, getting it away for Hajduk split. A little touch by Misha. Thorstvedt's ball. Tuttle. This could be dangerous. No. Sedgley got there a fraction before him. Finds Lineker. Nice back heel by Lineker. Opens it up for Samways. Tries to get it out here for Nayim. Nayim does well. Can he hold his feet? Yes, he can. Now Lineker. Will it come for Gary Lineker here? A shot on the turn and a save by the goalkeeper. On the far side. Word incidentally at half-time from the referee's room that he felt that the second deliberate handball could have been a goal-scoring opportunity for Tottenham, and that the first one wasn't. That was his feeling about those two deliberate handballs. That's why the first one, Bilic got the yellow card and Novakovic got the red.
It's interesting, isn't it, that watching here and Dennis Law watching in the studio, we both thought it was the other way.
I would have thought in any case the second one was a million miles from being a goal-scoring opportunity. It was scarcely inside the Hajduk split half.
That's correct.
A lot of work had to be done to make that a goal-scoring opportunity. But here come Tottenham again. Stewart. Hajduk split player is down injured. It's with Durie. Nayim. And a corner for Tottenham. Attention for the split player. The left ankle causing a problem. Let's have a look and see how this happens. It's Misha, the number 8. Tangled up there with Durie. Well, can't see the problem there. And true enough, he's on his feet again. It'll be Nayim to take the corner. Keeper coming for it. Going it well. Yanni. Vucevic. Spreading the ball out to Tuttle. Tuttle's header for Tottenham. Bilic. Misha. Stewart. Did quite well there.
They're actually giving a very good exhibition of playing with only 10 men, Brian, because they're keeping the ball when they've got it. They're building it up well. And this was a lovely little move here. And I thought actually could maybe have taken another yard inside the box before they had a shot.
What is obvious, Saint, is that the work isn't over for Tottenham tonight yet.
No, it's not. As I said before, all they've done is just keep the formation as it was, except that they've one less man up front. And it's very difficult for Tottenham to break them down. But again, the good thing is, of course, that if the score stays the same, Tottenham are through.
Cross in from Bergsson. Away by Stewart. To Vucevic. A bit of pace here as well, and look at the space as well for Tuttle on the far side. But what a ball cross that was. That was amazing, the amount of space he was able to find on the far side of that field. And an excellent run by Vucevic. Goal kick for Tottenham. Erik Thorstvedt with it. Only 4 foreigners, of course, allowed in a squad. More about in a moment. Paul Stewart being called to referee Bergsson. Tuttle. Lineker. By Durie. And an advantage played there by the referee. Durie did well, beat Misha as well. Finds Stewart with this one. Stewart going on. And here's the net, gets it away. Up once again to Vucevic. But Samways. Samways again to Allen, far side. They're saying only 4 non-English players allowed in the squad, or 4 foreigners in any European squad in their competitions this season. Being Durie, a Scot, of course. Let's have a look at this first. Yes, they're not getting it away. Durie, a Scot. Thorstvedt, a Norwegian. Bergsson from Iceland. And so the last one is
Nayim.
Nayim, of course.
Thank you.
Thank you. Erik. Vucevic. Brought down by Mabbutt. Free kick to Hajduk split. I think he might be putting it on a bit.
Well, they're making a meal of the injuries now, aren't they? I mean, we've seen 2 or 3 of players go down, and when we've seen the replay, actually nothing's happened to them. They've just gone down and wriggling around.
They've got to get a goal somewhere to win this tie. Hajduk split, Mabbutt going in there.
I mean, that was absolutely nothing. All he did was fall down.
They're holding up the thing and breaking up the rhythm of Tottenham at the moment. And Peter Shreves was very worried, in fact, when before the start, Ian, that with that 1-0 lead, he thought that he might, as in his words, make it a 70-minute game instead of a 90-minute game. In other words, you know, stop the old malarkey a little bit and waste a bit of time here and there. Peter Shreves in the centre, a little more on Sunday. To slow everything down and to disrupt the moves and take away the...
And frustrates you as well when you're playing against it, because you know they're not injured, you know that they're play acting, and it does frustrate you, and you start doing things and saying things to the referee, and then of course one thing follows on another, and you know, you can lose goals from it.
Well, it's a free kick for Hajduk split. Vucevic behind it. To match the captain saying that the Spurs wall needs to go back another yard or so.
I mean, this is 5 minutes we've wasted in this incident alone.
Vucevic, free kick. Goal kick for Tottenham. And on the Hajduk split bench, plenty of animation there. Sedgley. Stewart. Samways playing it wide for Allen.
Bad ball in again, Brian. I have to say, down that right-hand flank tonight, the service has been very, very poor or non-existent. And it surprises me because Paul Allen on Saturday in the game against Manchester United was very productive. And usually he's so busy and he gets the service in, but not tonight.
Yes, I don't think there were any players better than Paul Allen last Saturday, but not so far tonight. Tuttle had gone forward for this long throw. And it produces a corner for Tottenham. Gary Mabbutt forward for this one again. Tuttle is at the near post. Samways with the corner. Floated in left-footed there towards Gary Mabbutt. It might come for Paul Stewart. Down goes the keeper and saves well through a crowd of players, and Stewart taking a knock as he got that shot in. Stewart again. Sedgley. Durie. Another free kick for Tottenham. It is taken by Nayim. Tuttle's come up again. Lineker tried to get there first with a little flick on from the near post. Vucevic. Bergsson. Waited too long on that, and Kosniku nicked it away from him. Vucevic again, long-range shot. No troubles at all for Thorstvedt.
I am a bit surprised, Brian, at the distance that they're trying the shots. I would think really you would beat a goalkeeper Thorstvedt's class from that distance. I mean, they hit them from 40 yards there.
Well, they beat young Ian Walker from 30 yards in the first leg, and maybe that's give them their cue. Motherwell out of the Cup Winners' Cup. They beat Katowice of Poland 3-1, but they go out on the away goals.
Oh, no.
Your old club saint.
I was hoping to go and see them in the next round.
It's a free kick for Hajduk split. Spurs leading 2-0 here if you've just joined us, 2-1 on aggregates, with Hajduk split reduced to 10 men, with their number 7 Novakovic sent off in the last minute of the first half. Bilic to Stinac. Bergsson getting in there. Durie. This is a good challenging run by Durie, just had his feet taken away from him there by Bilic. So later tonight on our programme, of course, highlights of 2 other European games. Manchester United against Athinaikos up at Old Trafford, and Austria Vienna against Arsenal. Samways with the free kick. Lineker with the header. Yanni hitting it straight at Paul Allen. Goal kick for Hajduk split. Coming to 20 minutes now of the second half. And Hajduk split making a substitution, taking off Erak and bringing on the number 14, that is Slavic. He looks anything but 100% fit, with a knee quite as heavily bandaged as that. Robert Vladislavic. Wimbledon 1, Sheffield Wednesday 0, the score in the First Division tonight at Selhurst Park. That's the latest score. Samways didn't quite angle that in correctly for Lineker. Lineker, in any case, had strayed offside. Stewart. Have a go at that one, he says to Nayim. Samways. Across the face of the goal. He's handled the ball quite well, Boskovic, tonight.
Played very well, I think, the goalkeeper. Had an excellent game.
Stewart really getting involved in those midfield areas again now. Vukovic. It's Nayim, though, that nicked it away that time for Tottenham. Finds Paul Allen. Samways, a bit of space. Paul Allen.
Get no change out of Yanni at all, is he? And Yanni will be down for another 5 minutes.
Really wonder, actually, about Hajduk split. As we were saying, they played no league games, Ian, and they're by no means match hardened, and now down to 10 men. You just wonder physically whether they might just cave in over the last quarter of an hour, 20 minutes.
Well, I was thinking that even when they had a full complement of players, but actually at the moment they're still looking very strong. They're still very much in the game, Brian, because one goal and that's them. That's true.
Too high for the substitute. That is Vladic. Spurs need another goal to rest easy. Well, let's see what Samways can do. That was a lovely little bit of play there. Yesenbeck going with him. And a super bit of play there by Samways. He also found that extra little half yard for himself right by the byline with another little dummy on the big number 5. So couldn't quite get it in for Lineker.
It was a beautiful skill, wasn't it? A lovely ball from Nayim. Look at that turn there.
But also down by the line here, he also wins himself another yard. There.
And actually won himself, I thought, the corner kick and never got it.
Franco. Niku on the far side. Bergsson holding him up. Slipped by Tuttle, but found his feet again quickly enough to get it back to Thorstvedt. Gets it back to Bergsson. Look at this for some good play again by Hajduk. Offside surely.
Only just. Only just, Brian.
They'd never forgive themselves if they were in this promising position, Tottenham, and then they allowed a Hajduk split goal. And if they were, it's unthinkable to go out to 10 men.
I believe that Tottenham have been too cautious. I really do. You know, they are playing against 10 men. I don't know why they don't have a go and try to get that extra goal. You know, they're thinking, okay, we've got the lead at the moment, so let's just keep it like that. But as you can see, the whole game is disjointed. They're not playing at all well. When they went out early for the goals, they looked a useful team, Tottenham, didn't they? Looked much the better team.
Well, the Spurs fans obviously sense that there could still be a bit of a problem, trying to harder than ever to get behind their team. Well, that wasn't a very good ball there. Nice Stewart cut out by Allen. Lineker's there again on that right-hand side for him. Lineker. Here's the cross coming in towards Durie. Stewart with a header. And knocked over by Samways, turning on the volley. Good work by Paul Allen. Playing the ball to Lineker. Good cross coming in here, an excellent cross. Stewart with the header, and then Samways with the acrobatics.
I think Vinny Samways didn't realise, Brian, just how much room he had there. He could have pulled it down straight.
Well, let's see how much room we've got here as Stewart comes forward. There's some space down the left-hand side for Durie. Played now towards Lineker, but knocked behind by Bilic.
Well, that's much better now that Tottenham have raised the game in the last few minutes. I do feel, Brian, if they do that, they will get this other goal that will make things really safe for them.
Tuttle up at the near post. Lineker's on the goal line. Durie's in there on the edge of the 6-yard area. There's Tuttle. We had a shot of him just for a moment. Well, Tuttle again. He's liking this goal-scoring bit. After 6 minutes, David Tuttle, of course, put Tottenham ahead. The first ever goal he scored in a senior side for Tottenham. Samways, Sedgley. Goal kick. It Just clipped off Steve Sedgley. Another substitution being made. Vukovic, I think, is coming off. With the high clearance, which Yanni couldn't handle, but Alan could. Bergsson. Long towards Durie, winning a good percentage of the balls in the air tonight. And number 13 coming on, just as he did in the first leg, Edouard Batsi, who's an Albanian international. Off goes Vukovic. And Batsi, who's won 3 caps for Albania. He scored for Albania in a game against Iceland, which Gudni Bergsson was reminding me about before the game. Bergsson, in fact, playing on that fateful day for Iceland. Samways in quickly. Trying a long-range shot. Moving a little bit in the air, but Thorstvedt nicely behind it again. Batsi with a header. Stimac. Here's the Czech. Gets it back again. Durie. Struggling to get there before Bilic, but succeeds in getting it to Samways. Stewart. A little over a quarter of an hour left. Spurs still leading 2-0 for Allen now. Can Lineker pick up the pieces there? No, he can't, because Milenko brings it away. And that'll be a Tottenham throw. Stewart hustled out of it by the substitute Batsi. Misha. Spraying the ball about a bit, and Sedgley was just a little lucky to take that one. I think they've begun to look quite dangerous again, Hajduk split, you know, Sam.
They had a few dangerous moments 5 minutes ago, and they've come back into it again. Well, we questioned the fitness before, but up to this point, I wouldn't think it's showing at all. They're looking very good.
Bergsson now for Tottenham. Samways. Oh, total misunderstanding, and a chance now for Hajduk split to break again. Forgive me for repeating it, but if you have just joined us, Spurs leading 2-0, 2-1 on aggregate, but it does mean that if Hajduk split were to nick a goal now, and it finished 2-1 tonight, then it would be the Yugoslavs and not Tottenham who would go through on the away goal rule. Spurs are still a little bit on a knife edge here at White Hart Lane. But here's Stewart. Misha. Ladislavic. Milenko tries to get it back again from Batsi. Now Stewart again for Tottenham. But their game has gone to pieces.
Well, that's Stewart's first real bad ball, because everything else he's done tonight has been good. But that was a shocker. But the whole game, Tottenham's game, is falling apart, isn't it? And I think it's because they're so tentative about the scoreline, Brian. As you say, they are hanging on.
Stimac. Free kick to Hajduk split.
One would almost think that Tottenham were the away team here.
I thought he'd given it to Hajduk split, but he's given it to Tottenham. Sorry.
You said you look at the game and you look at it and you say, well, are Tottenham the away team because they're playing so cautious? They're hanging on there. You know, they said they've got something, let's hang on to it. And they're not being positive at all about the play.
Samways. A Tottenham free kick for the foul on Vinnie Samways. Again, Tuttle goes forward. We're inside the last quarter of an hour. Misha. Vladislavic.
There's a ball through the middle on.
There's one through the middle for Lineker, who's made a terrific run. And it was as well for Tottenham that Paul Allen came back there. That looked to be heading for Kosniku. And Allen nicked in and did a terrific job of work there for Tottenham. There was certainly danger lurking there.
Oh, that was a timely intervention.
Came off Nayim. Hajduk down to 10 men. Still, if anything, at this moment, having more of the game than Tottenham. Here's their centre-back, Sedgley. Look at this for a run. And he's not finished yet. That deflected off a defender, but easy for Thorstvedt. Wimbledon now leading Sheffield Wednesday by 2-1 in the first division of the Barclays League. Yanni, Misha, Vladislavic. Stopped by Nayim, but there's Misha picking it up again, and he got there before Tuttle as well. Actually, I'm worried about Spurs at the moment. There's a free kick again to Hajduk split.
The crowd are certainly worried, Brian. The crowd are getting a bit excited here. They can sense that there could be an upset.
Stewart behind it. Misha also behind it. Lineker I can see in there. Bergsson with the header away. Stewart helping it on its way. Paul Allen trying to take it down that line to Lineker. It came off Yanni, so it'll be a Tottenham throw.
I'm looking at Gary Lineker there, Brian. He's got the socks down and he's looking rather tired tonight, isn't he?
Now Durie. Good challenge by Nayim. Spurs needed that badly at that moment. And it's lifted the crowd as well. Lineker finding Allen. Back to Lineker again. Ten minutes of the game left. Tuttle shepherds that ball back to Thorstvedt. Thorstvedt playing tonight because Ian Walker arrived at the ground with a sore throat. The doctor, an hour before the start, said you've got a temperature of 102. They packed him off home and called the big Norwegian in to keep going. The Spurs look as though they're about to make a substitution. I think it's Ian Hendon, the defender, to come on here. Samways now for Tottenham. Into Nayim, a little back heel, but well, it didn't come off in any case. Samways was offside, the flag was up. 9 minutes left. Lineker. It might be Gary Lineker who comes off. Perhaps feeling the pace a little bit. Again, for new viewers tonight, he had a night basically without sleep because his wife went into labour and eventually produced his first son, George, at 2:30 this afternoon. Durie goes up. Lineker tried to get in behind there. Stewart, Durie, came off Lineker. The referee, the Spurs are claiming a handball, but the referee was totally unsighted, but he looked straight away to the linesman. The linesman kept his flag down. No handball. Vladislavic stopped by Sedgley, a free kick to Tottenham, and now the substitution can be made. Gary Lineker's going off. So Gary goes off. And young Ian Hendon, a defender, comes on. Lineker getting a great round of applause by the Tottenham fans. I seem to remember came on as a substitute in the first European game this season in Vienna against Stockerau. Tuttle, there's Hendon, just planting himself in front of the back two. Oh, Samways is back past. It was judged finely enough. A little smile of relief there from Vinnie Samways. Wasn't an awful lot to spare. Leaving just Durie up front now, it seems. Nayim getting a bit of support there. I hope the Spurs will hope the support comes from the midfield. 7 minutes left. Mabbutt challenging in the air. To Durie. Good play by Durie. Samways waiting in the middle for him. Oh, a terrific bit of play by Durie, but also by Bilic here. That could so easily have been and looked almost certain to be an own goal, but he somehow winkled that ball away and behind for the corner. Great run again, real challenging run here by Gordon Durie. And then that work there by Bilic to prevent Samways with a little tap-in. So, Nayim with the corner for Tottenham. Deep one. Good safe handling again by Boskovic. Yanni. In goes Nayim. Just nicks it back to Hendon. Leaves it for Stewart. Back it goes again to Thorstvedt. Those Spurs are content to sit on what they've got, Saint.
I think they're likely to settle for that right now, Brad.
But even with so little time left, that could still be dangerous, because Hajduk look as though they could be quite dangerous. Two good passing movements. 5 minutes left. Just want that one opening in front of the Tottenham goal. Bergsson. Boskovic with the clearance. Sedgley. Mabbutt. Can he break free? Samways supporting him. Samways. Now can Vinnie Samways get to the byline, get his cross in? Bilic getting it away. The Tottenham throw. Of Austria Vienna against Arsenal and Manchester United against Athinaikos. The drama beginning to build up at Old Trafford right now. Here at Tottenham, it's 2-0 to Hajduk split to Tottenham. And Spurs leading 2-1 on aggregate. It's 3 minutes left. Samways. Bergsson. Down the line for Paul Allen. Village has gone across there. Tottenham's throw. Just got to stay tight and sensible for the next 2 or 3 minutes now, Tottenham, and they'll be in the draw on Friday, made in Switzerland. But in a way, they've made heavy weather of it tonight, Ian, after that brilliant start with their 2 goals in the opening 14 minutes. David Tuttle with his first for Tottenham after only 6 minutes, followed by one by Gordon Durie.
Yes, but it's been a gallant performance by Hajduk Split. Don't forget that, Brian.
True.
I think they've made a game of it.
Paul Allen. Nasty old bobble there as he's about to cross it. So he had to change his plans, trying to get a mistake out of Yarni. He'll get a yard out of him at any rate. And gets a corner.
You know, against all the odds, I think it's been a terrific performance. They got cold early on, lost the 2 goals, but since then they've been very, very much part of this game, and I've been very impressed with their whole attitude. I think they've played the game well, and they've got the man short, and they've shown that you can play with a man short and still be dangerous.
Well, Gary Mabbutt's forward for this one. I'm going to ask you to choose your European man of the match after this one, Saint. In there, Boskovic.
Well, that's a very difficult job, actually, Ryan. I thought possibly you could have done that tonight. Because really, I mean, we want to give it to a Tottenham player, and it's quite a difficult choice tonight because there's not one of them really been outstanding. Because, as I say, I think the game has been very tentative as far as they're concerned.
You don't have to give it to a Tottenham player.
Well, some of the Hajduk players have played well. I think Yarni, the man we were talking about going over to Italy, possibly tonight, the number 3 for them has played very, very well. But I don't think they would enjoy Champagne either.
I think they might. But here's Samways, but the whistle had gone. So who are you naming?
As I say, you've caught me in 2 minds with this one. I didn't know I was going to do this. I'll tell you what I think I'll do. I think Gordon Durie's in shot there, and it comes to mind. His goal, I think, will win the tie for them. And it was a storming goal. It was a real cracker. And I think we'll give it to Gordon Durie. And I know, as a Scotsman, he would appreciate it.
Excellent. Gordon Durie, the European match, man of the match. Bergsson. Stopped by Misha. He's had an excellent game as well. Now this is Yarni. Mabbutt getting it away with some difficulty. And Nayim bringing it away for Tottenham. Finding Samways. The last seconds of the game now. And Samways trying to finish it off and might do so. Hits the post. Oh, Vinnie Samways so close, but now the attention turn to the other end of the field, and here comes Spurs again. Allen finding Stewart. Oh, deliberately obstructed there by Sedgley. Really on his way here, Stewart. It was a great run. Here's Samways.
I'd say Samways did very well here, but I think had he squared it there, Durie was there, but he saw the gap. He saw the gap between the goalkeeper and the post and went for it. It was rather unfortunate.
So can Spurs finish with a flourish? This free kick in a central position. Ian Hendon's up there, Gordon Durie's in there. Nayim is over the ball. I think it'll be Durie probably who makes the strike. Indirect free kick. Gordon Durie. Back again. Oh, here's Lineker so close, I thought, then to putting it into his own goal. A little confrontation there between Boskovic and Durie. Wait, 2 minutes of injury time now. Referee looking at his watch. Spurs have won it. They go into the next round of the Cup Winners' Cup, winning by 2-0 here tonight against Hajduk Split. Tuttle and Durie, the scorers, winning 2-0.